All right. Now, you go to one resource you want to do, and I'm going to share my screen here with everyone at home. Hold on one second. Okay. You're going to want to go to HomeSnap.com University. I'll put that in the chat area. You can find it. I'll add that later, but it's HomeSnap.com University is where all the videos, webinars, tutorials, any printable information is there for you. So let's get started with watching some tutorials here. It's probably the easiest way to do it. We're going to try just streaming it through my computer for people at home. And if it doesn't, if it causes a delay, I'll just have to post the link for you guys at home to click on it and watch it that way. But I think it should be okay. All right, so let's start with the good one here. Should we go over agent registration? No? Anyone at home want to go over that?
It's pretty easy.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. Well, it's not a long video. Let's watch it real quick.
Now let's look at how to register in HomeSnap Pro. After you download the app, this should be the first screen that you see, at least in iPhone. There's a similar screen in Android. And the option that you want to register for HomeSnap Pro is I'm a real estate agent. When you select that, the app will try to figure out where you are and pick the MLS that's most appropriate for you. If it's right, you just say, yes, I am a member of this MLS. If not, you can say, no, a different MLS and pick from a big pick list. I'll just show you that real quick. So this is all the MLSs across the country. If we got it right, you can just say yes. Now you need to find your existing MLS account. So you can do this with the ID that you use with the MLS, with your email address, or with your name. And for name, you can do just your last name, your first initial and last name, or your first and last name together. So I'll find my little test account here that I'm using to show you all. You'll get a list of results, which if you have a very specific name, might just be one like mine. Or if you have a common name, might be multiple, but it will mention your broker name and the city and state where your office is located. So pick the correct one. The next screen will suggest the two different ways that we could validate you against that account. So we can either validate your email address from the MLS or the cell phone number from the MLS. And the process works the same in either case. We will send either a text message or an email with a validation code, a 4-digit code, that you'll need to sign in to prove that you have ownership of this account. So in this case, I'm going to pick my cell phone number. You actually just have to confirm it by typing it in here. Once you submit that, we will send a text message out with the verification code, and which you'll type in here. You can see mine just popped into the top of the screen. I will type it in there and hit confirm. Next screen lets you confirm all the information about yourself that we're pulling from your existing MLS record. You also need to add a picture, which I'm going to do from my library here. And make up a password. Of course, I forgot to accept the terms of service, which is down at the bottom of this checkbox here. If you want to read them, you can read them here real quick. And when you're done, hit complete profile. You'll be dropped into HomeSnap and ready to start looking for homes and interacting with other agents near you. Thanks.
All right, so that is pretty straightforward, super easy to do. Now, should we cover so everyone's kind of at a different level here. So let's pick out some videos together, what we want to use, and we can talk about them. How about the MLS search? Would that be something to cover? Do that? Okay, that'd be a good next step.
Where are you at the site right now?
So on the site, I am, it's just HomeSnap.com University, and it's just, you click on tutorials. And I think that's
my phone because I'm on that.
Oh, okay. You scroll down a little bit, you should be able to see the link for tutorials, and then just scroll down, and I think we're on the second row.
I was going to try it on my computer, but
Gotcha.
I never use this.
Okay.
Hi, I'm here to show you how to search for homes in HomeSnap Pro. So I'm in the Homes tab here at the bottom of the screen. On the Homes tab, you'll see a map and a list of homes. The list shows the homes for sale in the map area in reverse chronological order of when they were listed, most recent at the top. It's an infinite scroll, so you can keep keep scrolling all the way down, and homes will continue to surface until it's showing you all the homes in the current map view. In this view, if you swipe right, you'll find a few shortcuts. You can send the home in a message, favorite it, or share it right from the screen. If you swipe right, you'll see all of the photos that are available for this home. We'll also show you the address and bed stats. You can also look at these in map view just by tapping on the map. In map view, you'll see the most recent listings as pins. If I zoom out, we'll start to cluster the homes together so that you can get a better sense of how many homes are actually for sale in the map area. If I click on one of these dots, it will zoom in so that you can see the individual pins. I can also click on any of these pins to see a quick view of the listing. The swipe features in the listing view work here as well. So I'll see my shortcuts if I swipe right and photos if I swipe left. If I click on that quick view, I'll get taken into the listing where I can see all the detail about that listing, which we'll cover in another video. I can also pan the map and pinch the screen to zoom in or out. And if I keep zooming in, you'll see these little blue dots as well as those green dots. Green means it's a listing, red means that it's sold recently, and blue means that it's not listed. If you see a purple icon, that means it has a scheduled open house, and purple with a gold center means that the open house is an agent open. If your market has coming soon listings in your MLS system, you'll see those as gold pins. In the map view, I can also do a couple of things by clicking on this layers icon. The first icon will turn on and off school locations. If I click on the school pin, we'll tell you the name of the school and give you a couple of options. I can click on this little information icon and it'll take you right into the school details page. If I click See Homes in School Zone, we'll show you the boundaries of the school attendance zone and show you only listings in that school attendance zone. This is a great feature for clients who want homes where they can send their kids to a certain school. Keep in mind that your clients can see this in their version of HomeSnap as well, so be sure to invite them to use HomeSnap with you. I can remove the school boundaries by clicking Remove Outline here at the top. The next icon in this menu turns property lines on and off. If you zoom out, the property lines will disappear to make the map more readable. The last icon toggles between satellite view and regular map view. This is great when paired with property lines because you can locate your phone on the map as a blue dot and see all the physical features of the property. In the open text box at the top of the screen, I can type a city, state, a zip code, or a specific property address. I can also search for schools, which will show you the same school attendance boundaries that we just looked at. I'll also see my recent searches down here as well. I'm going to do a search for Columbia, Maryland. You'll notice that we give you autocomplete options when you start typing in the search box. On the map, we outline the boundaries of Columbia and only show listings within that boundary. When you're zoomed out this far, we put the listings in clusters so that you can get a better idea of how many listings are available. If I go back to the top, I also have this filter link. I'll click on that and I have a few options. I can change the beds and baths and the price point range. I can search for different types of homes. I can search by different statuses and the date range that it was listed. And if I change the listing status to either open house or agent open, the date range will change to be the date that the open house is being held. I can also switch over to rentals. When I do that, we'll reset the price and status, but keep the other fields the same. The search filters for rental properties are pretty much the same as for homes for sale. Notice that we have changed the sale price to a monthly rental rate. We also offer 5 statuses: for rent, open house, agent open, pending, and recently rented. I'll select for rent and hit filter. Rentals show up on the map the same way as a for sale home would. The at whether you are in rentals mode or for sale mode. So when I'm in rentals mode, if I zoom in, I'll see all the homes with an estimate of how much they would rent for. A couple of final items. First, we've been using map mode this entire time. But if you want to bring back the list of homes, just click on this little icon at the bottom right with 3 dots and 3 lines. Second, it can be helpful to center the map around where you're standing. If you press this blue scope icon, that's going to put the map in your location as represented by the blue dot here. So that's it for search in HomeSnap Pro. Make sure to also watch our video on listings to see all the great information you can find on a property listing page in HomeSnap Pro.
There we go. Any questions? Pretty straightforward. I thought it was kind of neat to have the ability to see what the suggested rent amount. It might not apply majority of the time, but when investors start kicking in again and want to know what they could potentially rent a house for, it's kind of neat to say it's not a solid number. We know you haven't run comps, but there's an idea. You know, that was kind of neat to be able to have that at your fingertips. Let's see. This is a really cool feature that if you buy a house and you want to know anything about it, if it's for sale especially, you can take a picture of it. So let's watch this video real quick.
You can do it on like a house that isn't for sale too.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Mike showed me that.
I don't know why the sound's not kicked in yet. Let's see.
I'm just going to go and try to figure out what house, and it's going to ask you to. So just tap that camera icon, and it's going to ask you to frame up your shot. So we'll focus in on this house here, and take a picture when it's in focus, when the picture looks the way you want it to. And HomeSnap is going to go and try to figure out what house you're looking at. So it's going to figure out the address. If it's for sale, it'll show you the listing. If it's not, it will show you the property information that we have about it. In this case, if you scroll down, you can see the property history. You can see that while this house isn't currently for sale, it did sell in 2007. And we can tap on the sold listing and see what it looked like and how long it took to sell and who the agents involved were. See some basic information about the taxes and so forth. See all the schools and property boundary information. We can find similar homes that are for sale that are like this house. And we can find sales comps that back up the estimated value for this house. And when you're done, be sure to hit save, because that's what actually records the snap to your me tab and to your news feed and lets you be able to find it again. So I'm going to tap save either at the top or bottom of the screen, and it's going to confirm that it's saved. If I go look at my me tab, it should have increased my number of snaps. If I tap on that, we should see the picture we just took in the top left. There it is. That's the one we just took. It also should show up in my news feed as the top item that I snapped this particular house. So it's been recorded, it's easy to get back to, and that house will be tracked from that point on with every new piece of information. So if it goes on the market, you'll be able to see that. If the value changes, you'll be able to see that as well. One other thing to note is that sometimes if you snap the house, we'll just do the same house here one more time. If HomeSnap doesn't get it right, and it doesn't seem like we have the address right, you can hit the pick another, and it will actually show you the nearest homes to where you're standing, and you can help figure out the right answer. So if it actually turns out to be this house across the street, you can help HomeSnap get it right. And sometimes that's more likely to happen if you're in a car, because the sensors that the phone's using to help figure out where you're located and where you're aiming your phone and get the snap right aren't as effective when you're in your car. So in those cases, sometimes HomeSnap's going to ask you for that little extra bit of help. So that's how you snap homes in HomeSnap, and it's actually a pretty useful tool when you're out in the world looking at homes. Thanks.
That works really, really well. Really neat. Try that on my house. All right, let's see. Here's one that's probably interesting. If any of them jump out at you, just let me know. This walking property lines one. Let's watch this.
I'm here to talk about a great hidden feature in HomeSnap Pro, the ability to walk property lines with your client. So let's say that you were interested in looking at this house, and your client wants to know where the property lines end. If you scroll down the listing, under the local school section, you'll find a section called Property Lines. If I click on Open Map, it will bring me full screen into the map view. At the top, I can click on Satellite to get the satellite view. Sometimes you'll find that you need to zoom in or out a little for the property lines to show up. In this case, I'll zoom out a little. Now, you'll see the blue dot on the screen. That's the location of my phone. And you can see that as I walk around this house, the blue dot will move with me. I can walk down into the street, and I can head over to actually the neighbor's property line so I can see where that property line ends. And if I want, I can walk all the way around the house, and the blue dot will follow me. Of course, this is only going to be as accurate as the GPS on your phone, so take it as guidance rather than gospel. Now, if I want to get back to the main listing, all I have to do is tap on the screen. When I do that, the main menu will show up at the top, and then I can click on Close, and it will bring me back to the listing screen. So we hope you use this cool feature with your clients in HomeSnap Pro. Thanks.
So that's interesting. I like that. How about, let's look at the settings for the account setup. Does anyone have any questions at home?
How about the share screen? There's one that said to share.
Sure, let's do that. Sharing? Is that the one you saw?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Let's do that.
Now let's look at how to share homes in HomeSnap Pro. No matter what home you're looking at, whether it's a listing or not, it's pretty easy to share it. You can share it with your clients, with one specific client, with one specific person, or with your entire sphere of influence, or even on your Facebook profile or Twitter, via Twitter if you want to. So let's look at this with a particular home. I'm just going to pick the first one on my list here. It happens to be a listing, but it would work the same for any house. If I scroll down a little bit, you'll see these 4 blue buttons. And really all the sharing comes in there. So if I favorite this house, that's the left-hand button, the star. That's a one-tap way to kind of mark it. And all of my clients will see that I've favorited this house, and that'll be on my profile when they look there. The second way is to make a comment on it, and by default, that's going to go to all of your clients. So this is a comment that any of your clients could see. And this could be something about your own listing. It could be something about a home that you found that you think that the people might be interested in, part of a market that you're farming, that kind of thing. You can also recommend homes to your clients. Now, I only have one client here, but theoretically, you could have a long list of clients. And you just hit this send button, and they're going to get a push notification on their side that says that you recommended it to them. And then the final way is that you can tap the share button, which is the right-hand button. And here you have kind of the normal options about how you would share a link, say from a browser to an interesting web page or something like that. So you can send a message, which is a text message, to one person or a group of people. You can send an email, and it's going to pre-format all that for you and put it in there. You can send it. You can post it to Twitter or Facebook, assuming you have you have those set up on your mobile device. And we also have buttons on iOS here to be able to get directions or just put the URL into your clipboard so you can do whatever you wanted to with it. So sharing is actually pretty easy in HomeSnap. It's one of the great things about it. And anybody that sees this home, if you share it publicly, is also going to see you right next to it. So that's how to share homes in HomeSnap Pro. Thanks.
How did they get there again? I didn't see the very
Yeah, let's keep going, just like 2 minutes.
first
Watch it again.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
Now let's look at how to share homes in HomeSnap Pro. No matter what home you're looking at, whether it's a listing or not, it's pretty easy to share it. You can share it with your clients, with one specific client, with one specific person, or with your entire sphere of influence, or even on your Facebook profile or Twitter, via Twitter if you want to. So let's look at this with a particular home. I'm just going to pick the first one on my list here. It happens to be a listing, but it would work the same for any house. If I scroll down a little bit, you'll see these 4 blue buttons. And really all the sharing comes in there. So if I favorite this house, that's the left-hand button, the star. That's a one-tap way to kind of mark it. And all of my clients will see that I favorited this house, and that'll be on my profile when they look there. The second way is to make a comment on it, and by default, that's going to go to all of your clients. So this is a comment that any of your clients could see. And this could be something about your own listing. It could be something about a home that you found that you think that the people might be interested in, part of a market that you're farming, that kind of thing. You can also recommend homes to your clients. Now, I only have one client here, but theoretically, you could have a long list of clients. And you just hit this send button, and they're going to get a push notification on their side that says that you recommended it to them. And then the final way is that you can tap the share button, which is the right-hand button. And here you have kind of the normal options about how you would share a link, say from a browser to an interesting web page or something like that. So you can send a message, which is a text message, to one person or a group of people. You can send an email, and it's going to pre-format all that for you and put it in there. You can send it. You can post it to Twitter or Facebook, assuming you have those set up on your mobile device. And we also have buttons on iOS here to be able to get directions or just put the URL into your clipboard so you can do whatever you wanted to with it. So sharing is actually pretty easy in HomeSnap. It's one of the great things about it. And anybody that sees this home, if you share it publicly, is also going to see you right next to it. So that's how to share homes in HomeSnap Pro. Thanks.
Got it. It's a great way to continue again to keep the buyers in front of you and privatize those buyers and help control their experience with, because a lot of times they'll look at houses and you'll know that that's not what you want. Like that, you just, after working with some people, you just know what they're thinking they're going to find isn't exactly what they're actually going to find. So you can just suggest stuff and they can see the pictures, and it'll be helpful to say, let's look at the list you have and then let's add a couple that I would like, and see eventually if you know their taste and their style and got to know what their affordability will allow them. If it comes down to that determination, then you can, start sprinkling in yours, and eventually they'll be like, all right, let's add more of yours. And you'll be able to save some time, hopefully, looking at houses. All right, I was going to go down to the settings part for you.
When you look at your own profile, it gives, it shows how many listings I've done in the last 24 months and the last buyers.
Sure.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's neat. That can be helpful if you are doing a marketing CMA listing presentation, and they say, well, what's your record? What are some homes you've sold? You can pull it up on an iPad, or especially if you're in a niche neighborhood and everything pops up right around their house, because you have a map view of that on there. Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's watch this one on the settings, since we kind of jumped into settings with Gay. It's a good transition.
Now we're going to look at how to update your information in HomeSnap Pro. So if you go to the Me tab in iPhone, the Me tab is the rightmost tab. On Android, you have to tap the menu button and then pick the Me menu item. You'll see your profile page, and it looks something like this. This is mine. And the most important thing for what we're doing right now is this little gear icon for settings. So this is the settings section. So here you can see your current settings. And if you just have update, you can update your name. You can update your email address or your phone number. This is also where you would go to change your password. So you would put in your current password and then enter a new password, and then tap the update button at the bottom. This is also where you can update your profile picture. So you can always change your picture. Just tap on it. And you can either take a picture right now, or you can pick from the pictures that you already have on your phone, and it will give you a chance to zoom in and find them that way. So you can pick the photos that you want right out of your photo library. So it's pretty simple. That's how you change your information in HomeSnap.
Good to go on that one? Let's see, I think that the safety timer, let me check this out. You guys find this interesting?
Now you can stay safe at showings with the agent safety timer. When you arrive at a showing, Open the listing in HomeSnap and tap on the safety timer button to get started. Tell HomeSnap how long you expect to be at the showing by setting a duration. Next, select the emergency contacts to notify via text message in the event the timer expires. Finally, start the timer with a tap and show your listing. You can access the timer by viewing the listing, on your profile, or in Android by notifications. You can add more time or stop the timer whenever you want. When the time is getting low, HomeSnap will notify you, and if you let the time expire, HomeSnap will issue a text alert to your emergency contacts with your current address and cell number. In case of distress, you can send a text message in one tap with the distress alert button. Stay safe at showings with HomeSnap Pro's Agent Safety Timer. All this and more at homesnap.com/pro.
Can you start that one over again? I don't know how we
sure.
got there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now you can stay safe at showings with the Agent Safety Timer. When you arrive at a showing, open the listing in HomeSnap and tap on the Safety Timer button to get started. Tell HomeSnap how long you expect to be at the show.
So it's right at the listing.
But how do you get to this?
Is it not showing up on yours?
No, but I have an Android, so my screen is completely different.
I have the iPhone.
I don't know how you, so like everything he does, I can't do on my phone.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Yeah,
So you must just somehow put the listing address.
So well, if we just click on a listing and then it pops up, but
so here's one I'm on.
go back here.
So here, let me see if I can do this. Share my screen here.
You're easier.
So for everyone at home, I'm just trying to show on the phone. Let me see if I can do this. Okay. All right, 1 second here.
Oh.
But there in the iPhone, but it's not there.
Yeah, but I don't know how to find like which place I'm gonna be at. I'll just be able to put in the address here.
So they have tutorials, you know, on Android and iPhone, or they all done on iPhone?
I'm just seeing the ones that are, so far they've just been featuring the iPhone. All right, I'm almost there.
Right. Well, that option's not on the Android app. They maybe there's a way to find it, but I have no idea. Like when they have the four big peaks, like we have 3 in different places. So like there's one that just person I don't know.
Okay, bear with me, my tripod. Just one more second. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna just go back to the.
I just don't know how to get like to the list of their apps.
You scroll down the picture a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, like, what if I'm at a certain address? Where you put that in? How should you put it?
There we go.
Oh, is that what you do?
Yeah.
Okay, so here I'm on my phone. All right. So let me get to the app. I'm on an iPhone, everybody. Now what I did is just trying to get somewhere random. Okay, so let's just open the app. Let's say I want to look at this listing here, or I'm showing this listing here. Pull it up. And
How'd you pull it up?
oh, just from the bottom of the screen, I just scrolled up. Whoops, not that far down. Bottom of the page. You're gonna put your finger on the price and drag it up. Now this one The last one I was on just pulled it up, so hold on here, let's find another one.
Would you have to schedule a showing time first?
I don't think so. Okay, maybe we do it this way because you have to be, bear with me here, I'm just kind of experimenting. So I clicked on homes at the bottom,
Yeah.
with the little map and the little teardrop looking thing. So I just clicked on one of the houses on the map. I click on the, touch the picture, kind of put your finger where the price is and drag it up, and there it is. So it worked when I was in the location. That's probably why.
You have to be there.
Hey, Bob, how's it going? And then my safety timer, start a safety timer, I clicked on that. And I don't have any emergency contacts. So let me I'm gonna add agent services. And I'll start the safety timer for 5 minutes. Let's turn on my notifications. Timer activated.
And mine is not showing that. I don't know why.
Did you try the map? Click on that map at the bottom.
Yeah, watch. So I'm on the map.
Okay. So click on one of the houses are you in in our vicinity?
Yep.
Yep, so do that one.
And then
I'll
when I
scroll up a little
down,
bit. It might take a second to pop up. So that one's not doing it either.
I get rapid CMA, I get this digital marketing,
Sure.
property history, related agents, listing information.
I think you just have to, I did it on her phone, she's got an iPhone at work. I think you just have to go up kind of slowly.
Yeah.
Because it's a
it
really sensitive
populates a
app,
little-
it like goes really fast. 'Cause-
Yeah, it took a second to populate. Yeah,
but it's
that's what
not
it
on-
looks like.
It's not on an Android. I'm sure it is somewhere, but we
The
haven't.
safety.
I'll look into that for more Android stuff.
Yeah, because all the way, how we get to everything is different. So by the time I find it.
Sure. We can pause stuff too for
still
all the
haven't
Droid
found it.
users. So there we
Yeah,
go.
The safety thing, I think is pretty easy. I just don't you must have to be at the house or nearby it.
Yeah, it worked when I was in the better shut it off. Still say stop there. Cancel the timer, yes. Okay.
I have one pending.
Yeah, the one I was on was
No. The third one's like
131st
sold,
Lane.
But not for visible.
What do you find that, Jessica? I'm sorry.
Put in 1400.
Sure. Are you on the app?
Yeah, I'm on the
You in
apps right now. Yeah.
So click on the middle icon in the bottom of the screen.
Say home.
17th Street.
Yeah, let me see if I can move this stuff so we can see it easier at home. This right here. Oh, sorry. It's not showing it.
Oh, okay.
There's it's a little, homes in the middle. Oh, there it is. Oops, every time I move my mouse, it goes away.
On it.
So click on that, and then you'll see the map, and then click on one of the green dots.
Okay.
And then you should be able to just kind of start by the price with your finger and scroll up a little bit, just kind of scroll slow.
Okay.
And it should be that pop up first there.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
you can add your emergency contacts.
Be nice if a siren would go off or something.
Step away from the little turret. We're being surrounded.
Pepper spray incoming.
Well, I
Right,
don't know if
exactly.
it's true or not, but I just saw something
I never use
a
it.
realtor site on Facebook, and this guy got attacked. I don't know. House.
Yeah, it happens. Or, it can be pretty scary out there for sure.
Yeah.
This is an active.
All right. So are we good to move on to another thing, or should we play around with that a little more? Try one of these up here.
So you can schedule showing time from HomeSnap. I did not know that.
There we go.
Cool.
All right, let me see if I can
I think
stop
I just
and share.
gotta play with it.
Yeah. Yeah, just go for, if you have a dog, walk the dog, take pictures of the houses, walk the property lines.
At least I can find it on your phone.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's find another video. That is a really, really interesting and useful area of this app to use for sure. As long as, just let your emergency contacts know ahead of time as well that they are your emergency contact and kind of why they're getting it, and it's not a joke or
Because
You know
my
what I
husband
mean?
never answers the phone.
Or that, make sure the person who is getting it looks at their text messages.
My husband has two and he never.
Should we watch it one more time? It's just a quick minute.
What's it put Jessica to put it down so she knows?
And you can stay safe at showings with the agent safety timer. When you arrive at the showing, open the listing in HomeSnap and tap on the safety timer button to get started. Tell HomeSnap how long you expect to be at the showing by setting the duration. Next, select the emergency contacts to notify via text message in the event the timer expires. Finally, start the timer with a tap and show your listing. You can access the timer by viewing the listing, on your profile, or on Android by notifications. You can add more time or stop the timer whenever you want. When the time is getting low, HomeSnap will notify you, and if you let the time expire, HomeSnap will issue a text alert to emergency contacts with your current address and cell number. In case of distress, you can send a text message in one tap with the distress alert button. Stay safe at showings with HomeSnap Pro's Agent Safety Timer. All this and more at homesnap.com/pro.
Okay, so there is one in the Android.
Jessica,
Yeah,
this would be a great thing, I think, to put on our page too, just to let people know it's there so that people can start using it at like open houses and stuff like that.
definitely. I will definitely do that.
The trick is you have to be in the vicinity of the house.
Yes,
So I picked one that was right next door to our office and it let me set a timer.
sure.
But when I picked like a house that was for sale, it won't let me.
Right.
Timer.
You need to actually be there. So you
So you can't like set it, maybe you can set it if you have it showed, like a scheduled showing, but I can't set it in 45 minutes away from here.
So basically you have to get there and say, hey, I'm afraid of you, so I'm gonna do this.
Hey, good agent, get there early. You never do
Let's go.
that.
I'm waiting for my bodyguard to arrive.
And just a recap while we're kind of touching on agent safety, something that I think is a really good idea, especially if you're working with a lead from, someone you don't know, meet them at a coffee shop nearby first. Say you want to do a buyer's consultation with them, give them some marketing materials and use it as an educational opportunity for them, but also a vetting process. Because if someone's not going to meet you to go over the process, they're probably not serious. They probably aren't, in my experience. I was doing a lot of company leads when I was selling, and I always met them at a coffee shop, and they were pretty much always, yeah, that'd be a great idea. And just find one like right down the street, if you can, from the first house, buy them coffee, say it'll just be like a half an hour, 45 minutes, depending on your questions. And if they show up, they're serious. And you can also, while you're talking to them, kind of gauge the situation a little bit in a public place, rather than it kills two birds with one stone. One, if you're trying to introduce yourself and talk about the process and really show your value in the house, they're too distracted or they're not going to listen. You can have a captive audience in a coffee shop, and that's going to work out so much better. Then the second thing you're tackling with that is to vet them and see if you feel safe.
Did you ever sign the buyer rep agreement then too?
If they would, yeah, always agency, throw that out there. Always throw that out there, and even if they don't want to sign it, just have them initial it that they saw it. Refuse to sign, they can do that and initial it. Just that works too. Bring a couple so they can keep a copy of it. And then the buyer's rep, if they're comfortable with it, but that's not something that you need to give them at first. You could just show it to them.
Yeah.
But more for just the process of this is who I am. Here's the expectations that we should have with houses, depending on the market. It's going to be hey, you might find 5 houses and lose 5 offers, but that 6th one is going to get there. This is a marathon right now. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. You got to endure going through some stuff, and you're here as an agent. You're there to guide them through it. It's not when things are easy that people really shine. It's when things are difficult and how they handle and overcome objections and overcome any obstacles, dealing with multiple offers, whatever, that really shows an agent's value.
I tell them we're gonna be a team.
Yes, exactly. And you can go over about going in open houses. There's so many things you can tackle at a buyer's consult, and really the 45 minutes, half an hour up front saves so much time later on if those expectations are set. And it's kind of circling back to the safety issue. It's a good way. It's not 100%, someone could always put on a nice show and still, you know, being not a nice person. But from my experience, it was pretty good way to gauge at least your comfort level, and if you want to move on with it. Or else pretty soon you say, oh, the seller's canceled, we gotta go. You know, you can't show the houses if you're not comfortable, and then try to deal with it another way. But I think that most of the time you're gonna get a good gut instinct if you meet with them. And they're also going to listen to you, they won't be all distracted. So let's see, anything else jumps out? Let me see, there's another one I was thinking would be good. Should we cover some information for listing agents and buyer's agents and see what they have covered in these videos? Cool. Let's do the listing agent one.
Okay.
106 Pine Grove.
There you go.
Hi, I'm here to talk about how HomeSnap messages can really benefit listing agents. If you're a listing agent, HomeSnap messages is going to be a great way for you to keep track of all the conversations that you have on each of your listings. Let's say you've got a number of listings at the same time, and you're trying to keep track of all the interested buyers. Maybe you're talking to other agents, maybe you're talking to people who attended the open house. You already know that you can see all of your listings in the My Listings section of the Me tab. Now with HomeSnap messages, all the conversations that you've had about a particular home will be attached to the listing in HomeSnap. As you can see on this listing, I've had several conversations with various people. And if I go to the next listing, you can see that I've had several conversations with other people about this listing. So if you've got a number of listings at the same time, this is a convenient way to keep track of all the conversations that you're having about each listing. All of your conversations are private to the people in that conversation, of course. We hope that, as a listing agent, you're able to better organize your conversations with HomeSnap messages. Make sure to check out our video on HomeSnap messages for buyer's agents as well. Thanks.
Super short and sweet. I'm sure the buyer side will be similar, so let's check that out.
Hi, I'm here to talk about how HomeSnap messages can really benefit buyer's agents. If you're a buyer's agent or just have a number of buyer clients, HomeSnap messages is going to be great for you to keep track of the conversations that you have with your clients and the homes that you discuss. Like most messaging apps, each conversation that you have is going to have its own thread. So you'll be able to keep track of what you've discussed with each buyer via their own threaded conversation in the Messages tab. But we added some extra features. If I click on the Details link at the top right, I can do several things. First, any home we've discussed can be pulled out of the conversation by clicking on the View Shared Homes. I can also map all the homes we've discussed by clicking on the Map of the Shared Homes. So if you're planning out a tour with your client for this weekend, you can share all the homes with them, and both you and your client can see them in a map view. So if you're an agent with a lot of buyers, you'll never lose track of the homes that you've discussed together. We hope that as a buyer's agent, HomeSnap messages will help you better organize the conversations you have and the homes you discuss with each of your buyers. Make sure to watch our video on HomeSnap messages for listing agents as well. Thanks.
Pretty simple. Nice easy way to, like a mini CRM almost, where it's property driven. Now, here's something that might be useful, messaging with non-HomeSnap users. So let's give this one a whirl. Oops, hit play.
Hopefully by now you've watched our video on the basics of HomeSnap messages. So what happens if the person you're messaging doesn't use HomeSnap? We made sure that it doesn't affect your experience at all. So let's see how this works. I'm going to send a home to a prospective client that doesn't use HomeSnap. Now this could be a client or it could be another agent. I'll send this message, and if we see that the recipient doesn't have a HomeSnap account, then the message will either be sent as a text message or as an email. Let's see what that looks like. So the recipient receives the message as an email. Now, if the recipient responds to that email, the message will come back into that thread in HomeSnap. Now, besides the obvious benefit of keeping all your conversations in one place, organized by listing or by the buyer, whether they use HomeSnap or not, there are a couple of other benefits to HomeSnap messages. First, let's go back to the client who doesn't use HomeSnap. Let's say that they send you a link from another portal site. We'll take that link into HomeSnap, interpret which listing it is, and pull that listing into your messaging thread so that you can easily get to all the confidential listing information. Second, all of your messages with someone are attached to that person's profile on HomeSnap. So if I regularly work with an agent or I'm working with a client, I can click on that person's profile and see all of the conversations that we've had. That wraps up our video on HomeSnap messages. Hope you get a lot of use out of it.
That's really neat. Tie that together with someone that doesn't have the app. And while we're talking about messaging, let's cover some messaging basics.
Hi, I'm here to walk you through the basics of HomeSnap messages. The great thing about HomeSnap messages is how deeply integrated it is within HomeSnap. Let's take a look at how to send a listing and a message. First, if I go to any property page, whether it is listed or not, I will see send in a message at the bottom of the screen. If I click on this, I see a few things. I'll be able to type in an email address, and if we recognize that contact, we'll go into a drop-down. I'll also see the listing agent, so I can easily message them about the property. I can click recent messages to add this property to an existing message thread that I have. I can click my clients to select any of my HomeSnap clients. If I click at agents, I'll see different groups of agents that I can quickly message. Or I can click on iPhone contacts to scroll or type in to find the person that I'm looking for. Once I decide on who to message and click next, the property will show up in the message thread. I can add my own note and press send. I can also initiate a message from the messaging tab. Just like any messages app, I'll see all of my message threads organized by most recent to least recent. I can delete old threads by sliding to the left. If I want to create a message, I can start with the compose symbol on the top left, or I can click on one of my existing message threads. In the thread, I can start typing, or if I press this little plus icon to the left, I have a few options. I can take or send a photo. If I press send home, I can pull from several groups of homes that are specific to me. Or if I press send person, it will send a link to that person's profile. This can be helpful if, for instance, you have an agent on your team who will be handling your seller's open house, and you want to send the seller that agent's contact information. This was just a short introduction to using messaging with the HomeSnap app. Make sure to watch our other videos on tips and tricks for listing agents and buyer's agents.
Kind of did it backwards, but there we go. Anything to go over again on that?
No, can we do an auto? We can't do an auto search for this, can we? Like we can't find something like automatic email notifications.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember seeing that. Let's see.
So the big thing about this is so they stay away from Zillow and get contacted by.
Exactly. Yep. It's to privatize the buyers to you, and they have access to everything. Plus, this is so maneuverable for them. Pull up property lines and not have ads, and yeah, it's pretty neat. Let's do this one connecting with clients. Maybe that'll cover that question.
To the HomeSnap app. As you know, millions of clients already use HomeSnap, and you have the opportunity to work exclusively with them in the HomeSnap app. When you invite a client and they accept, you become the only agent that they can see in HomeSnap, and you're the only agent that can receive questions from this client as well. Since each client can only be attached to one agent, it's highly advantageous for you to invite your entire sphere so that they become attached to you and not some other agent. Now let's see how to do this. I'm going to click on the Me tab, which is the bottom right-hand corner on the iPhone. In Android, it's the upper left-hand corner. Click on the menu, and then click on your photo. So when I go into the Me tab, I see the largest button in the middle there is the Invite Clients button. So I'm going to click that. And the first time you do this, we're going to do two things. First, we're going to ask for access to your contacts, and that's so that we can easily send out invites on your behalf. Second of all, we're going to take you through this invite clients wizard. Now, if you get to this first step and click invite all, first we're going to ask you to confirm, just in case you clicked invite all by mistake. If you hit confirm at this point, you'll invite all the clients in your phone. I'm going to cancel this so you can see the rest of the phone. If you decide to skip, we allow you to invite your clients one by one, or to select all. I'm going to skip that as well. We also give you a unique link that you can post out to social media and an easy way to do it. So if I want to post that link out to Facebook, we give you a post here. We pre-build it. You can change it if you want. And the same with Twitter. And in both cases, your unique link will be attached to that post. Now, if I go back into my Me tab after I've invited clients, I can see how many clients I've actually invited. So I've got 3 clients here. And I can see the status of each of those clients. So I've got 2 clients who have accepted, 1 who's pending. When I go into these clients, I can do a couple of things. First, I can see what they've been doing recently. So let's say a client has been dormant for a while, but then starts taking snaps of favoriting properties. You know what they might be interested in and can reach out to them. If I provide a client by mistake, I can click the My Client button. And it goes. The other thing you can do once you provide clients is you can easily make recommendations. So let's say I'm looking at properties and I see a property that I think would be interesting to one of my clients. I'm going to hit the recommend button here, which is the 3rd button from the left. And we're going to pull all of your contacts and put your clients up at the top. And I've just made a recommendation. The final thing we do, once you've invited clients, is we're going to send them a great weekly market update via email on your behalf with your name and brand on it. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is an example of the market update email. You can see that it has my photo at the top. And we're going to show them listings, for sale listings, listings under contract, and just sold listings in their area. We give them a map, we give them some market statistics, and if the client's been searching in multiple areas, we'll give them this information on up to 3 zip codes. So that's how to invite clients in HomeSnap. Hope that was helpful, and I hope you
You all good on that one? And that was really quiet. That's just how they recorded it. Let's see. Let's do one more. We have time for one more short one. Rapid CMA reports. Let's watch this one.
Now let's look at one of the cool features in HomeSnap Pro, the Rapid CMA. So as an agent, from any house that you are looking at in HomeSnap Pro, whether it's a listing or any house even if it hasn't sold for a long time, you can create a CMA very, very quickly. We call it a Rapid CMA. So let's just pick one here and try it out real quick. So I'm going to pick this listing. This happens to be a for sale listing, but it doesn't really matter. The first yellow button that you see here is Send a Rapid CMA. So the idea might be for a new lead, somebody's asking about a property, or even for an existing client if you're trying to either justify a value or suggest similar listings or recent sales that they might want to consider in evaluating this property. So all you do is tap the Rapid CMA button, and we preload it with everything we know about that property. Now in this case, it's a listing, so all of these things should be correct. And in fact, if you edit them, they won't flow through to the CMA, but they will help pick the comps that you use. In the case of a tax record-based house, something that hasn't sold in a long time, you might want to tweak the value, or if you know more than we do about the beds or baths, you can tweak that as well. In any case, you just tap the little plus button to be able to tweak those things. We're just going to leave them all alone for right now. There's a help button here for some of those things if you want in the bottom left. And we're going to hit next. So HomeSnap will now suggest 12 similar listings that you might want to consider including in this CMA. So if you're already familiar with them, it's pretty easy to just tap the checkbox off to the side here. If you're not familiar with them, you can tap on any of those listings to look at them and remind yourself about them. And then you can pick this select listing at the top here if it's one you want to include. So once you have 3, you can move on to the next step. So we'll move on. The exact same thing happens with sales comps. So we'll suggest 12 sales comps that you might want to include in your CMA, and you pick the ones that you think are most appropriate. So you can just check the boxes, or you can tap on them to double check, and if it works, you can pick it that way. Hit next step again. This is where you would type in an email address of the lead or client that you want to send it to. If you leave it blank, we'll just send it to you. And this is where you can type in a message. And this can be as long or short as you want, as personalized as you want. However, HomeSnap will remember it so that if you do more of them and you keep your message fairly generic, you won't have to retype it every time. So now we're going to hit create. And our servers are going to create this CMA and send it out just as you asked for. And if you hit close right now, which you can see at the top of the screen, all that will still happen and you can kind of go back to business. But if you want to see it, you can wait here at this screen and we will, as soon as it's ready, we will show you the CMA that you're waiting for. They're usually somewhere between 40 and 50 pages in length, and you'll see that they're pretty comparable to the kind of CMA that you would normally take a lot longer to produce. I'm going to check for it again here. There, now it's downloading. And so here's my CMA as an agent. So it's got all my contact info, the subject property is here, everything we know about that subject property, all the pictures from the subject property. You can see that this is a 45-page CMA. There's all the comps that we picked, 3 similar listings and 3 recent sales and how close they are to the subject property on the map. There's a comparison of the subject property to the similar listings, a comparison of the subject property to the sold listings, and there's comp number 1 and all its information and all its pictures, and comp 2 and all its pictures. And if you want to share that, in addition to sending it to the person we already put their email address in, you can just do that right from here. So you can tap this share CMA button at the bottom, and you can send it with a text or mail, or if you want to print it, if you have an AirPlay printer, you can do it that way too. So that's how you make a rapid CMA in HomeSnap Pro. Thanks.
Easy enough. All right, so for everybody at home, I will post this web page on Facebook along with some attachments and that some of the feature sheet and how to set up your account so that you'll have that. So any other questions or anything you want to revisit before we wrap it up?
I can't find my rapid CMA. You're not in HomeSnap.
All right, thanks. I'll help you over there in a second. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. That's like